In online evangelization, and honestly in any kind of evangelization, it's important to always see the person and not just the argument. That's hard to do online.
Something that I've been discussing with a lot of people outside of the conference, just in the halls and in various conversations, is rhetoric and sort of the three dimensions of rhetoric being logos, pathos, and ethos, which when we think about apologetics and evangelizing people, we just tend to think of the argumentation, which is the logos side of it. But there's also ethos, which is how we live our lives and how we demonstrate the goodness of what it is that we believe through the example of our lives. And the lives of the saints are sort of the perfect example of that.
In John chapter 11, Lazarus dies. Mary and Martha are his sisters, are both aggrieved. Martha says to Mary, "Lord, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died." But then she adds an important detail. She says, "And even now I know that you can raise him from the dead." And so they have a conversation about the resurrection.
And then there's pathos, which is like, how do you build someone's affection and soften them up and warm them up to the idea of this particular creed or belief system that you want them to adopt? So you can think of that almost in terms of like the packaging of it. Maybe an analogy to something like marketing is that there's the product, there's the pitch for the product, but there's also just the way you brand it and you package it and you make it, you tease out somebody's affections for it. In the case of Catholicism, that's culture. That's the packaging, that's the branding, that's the music, the smells, the sounds, and all of these things should have sort of a sacredness to it that draws out people's longing for something deeper and greater.
But then Jesus talks to Mary. She also says, "Lord, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died." But the context is different. She's crying. So Jesus doesn't give her a theological explanation of the resurrection. He cries with her. And so when you're online, when you're in person, don't reduce the other person just to words on a page or an argument to mechanically answer. Try to understand who they are, where they're coming from, and you'll be that much more effective in touching their heart and helping to move it towards our Lord.
All of us are called to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, no matter how much we know or how much theological knowledge that we have. You could have, as St. Paul says, all knowledge, but if you don't have love, you're just a resounding gong. So whatever knowledge you've been blessed with, share it. And as 1 Peter 3:15 says, always give a reason for the hope within, but do it with gentleness and reverence. And I think we had 700 people attend our conference today who are going to go out and share the truth gently, reverently, and effectively.
So for me, I think that the biggest takeaway from all this is to keep in mind who we are ultimately evangelizing for. It's Jesus.